What's good, YouTube? This your man Spill Dog. Here we go again. I mean, it's getting worse and worse. All this PED talk with Terrence Crawford before this fight with Canelo. But you know what? I really don't feel sorry for Bud at all. You know, I wish it wasn't happening, but then again, I look at it like this. I've said over and over again, I wouldn't throw my neck out to say nobody clean. I wouldn't. I hope I don't care. It's not my opinion. It's not my business to worry about all that. But I will say this: if you don't want to be scrutinized and looked at or accused of doing certain shit, then don't. Then I wouldn't associate myself with certain people. you know. What you think, what you expect people to think when you bring a guy in your camp that's been convicted and went to prison for this shit, got kicked out of another sport in his own record saying he know how to beat the test, divide a test or whatever. This ain't nothing this not accusation. This shit is fact. We've all seen it and heard it on YouTube. So when you bring a guy like that in your camp, what the hell you expect people to think? You know what I mean? Seriously. And you obviously don't mind being looked at like that because you got this guy with you. You don't have to have this dude. So, blue blood, I feel some of what he's saying, but he don't know for a fact what the hell going on either. That's why I stand on the position of I don't give a shit. It's not my business to worry about who doing what, but I would say anybody that fuck with dude is possible. I mean, it's just that simple. You can't say nothing else. It's hard. How can you not say that? How can you say a guy ain't doing that when they dealing with a guy that everybody know is crooked as the letter S? As far as with this type of shit going down. So, my mom used to tell me, when I started hanging around with people that she didn't agree with, and I would say, well, I ain't doing this or that. She said, sometimes she called it guilt by association. Sometimes you're guilty just for associating yourself with certain people. It is what it is. Me personally, I feel like it's kind of throwing a black a shade over the fight. This ain't a fight I want to see no way, but it's a damn good fight. I would much rather see Canelo fight Benavidez, but this is gonna be a great fight too. I'm still happy, but I can't feel sorry for nobody to go out there and fuck with somebody like this. And what you expect people to think? What do you expect people to think? I mean, and they keep saying it's a lot of Blue was saying about all these other dudes that's dealing with the same dude. Well, yeah, but they ain't in the biggest fight in no big fight like this. So, this is an all eyes on me type fight. And when you in a situation like that, when all eyes are on you, that means you, your team, everybody involved with you, and this guy seemed to be a pretty intricate, pretty involved in his career now. He say he recommends supplements. He damn sure can recommend the shit that they can't catch. He already said that. I'm not saying what nobody doing, but he said it. Shit, dude said it himself. He know what. I mean, come on now, and anybody fucking with him, I will say who knows why go get this guy when you rich? It's always I'm quite sure it's somebody that could do what he doing. Maybe even if they ain't quite as good, but close enough where you ain't gotta have all this other shit going on, and all this stuff that's really, not good for the fight. It seems like it's just ramping it. It's just getting more and more ramped up. If I ain't know no better, it'd make me think, somebody with some real leverage is worried that Canelo might lose this fight and trying to get a fucked up narrative out there and get ahead of it. I don't know. When I watched that fight with Skull, I know damn well Crawford can do that and better. And shit, a little bit more. I mean, you know, that fight was pretty damn close. Crawford ain't no Skull. He can get a decision if he fight that close with him. Crawford would have his arms is a little bit longer than Skull, and I think he'll be a little bit faster. I think a lot of things could happen in this fight, and I really believe the closer they get to the fight, the closer some of these guys thinking this ain't as big a mismatch as they may have thought it was. And putting the narrative out. There's a lot of ways to look at this shit, but I will say this: I just can't have no sympathy for nobody when you bring certain people up in your camp, and you know, it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can't get around the fact that that man crooked. Can't get around the fact that that man had, Shane Mosley. A lot of people that already got pop bogus fucking with him. So now maybe he know, every people get better at shit. Maybe he know how to do what he do, and not get caught no more. I'm just being honest. Why can't, just because it's Terrence Crawford don't mean he can't fucking cheat. I'm not saying he is. I don't give a shit. But you got a crooked motherfucker on your team. You do, and shit. What you think people going? What you expect? After he fought Arrow, I never entertained that shit. I actually didn't know what motherfuckers was talking about when they kept coming to me saying, talking about dude, and I was like, and I'm gonna stay that way. Hey man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. If that's going on, whatever, I ain't got nothing to do with that. And then I don't know, somebody convinced me to watch this shit on Netflix about dude. And I said, oh, okay, this why they were saying all that shit about the fight with Spence. But I say again, skills pay the bills in the boxing ring. Keep your motherfucking hands up. That's all I can tell a motherfucker. Make sure if have your defense tight just in case the motherfucker is on some juice where you ain't getting caught with them shots. That's about all I can tell you. It is what it is for me. It could be my own fucking son in there. If I don't do my due diligence and I don't find out what I need to find out, well, once you get in that boxing ring, it ain't but two ways to get up out of there. The bell ring or the motherfucker knock you out, or you knock him three ways. You knock him out, you knock you out of the bell ring. I'm not saying once you're out there, you're out there. Once you're out there, you're out there. So if you don't voice your concerns and straighten that shit before the fight time come, I don't want to hear that shit now. It is what it is. Go do what you do and do your best. That's why I didn't get involved with it with Ryan. That's why I didn't get involved with it when it was Canelo. It ain't no way for me to prove it. It ain't no way. I'm a fan. How the fuck I know who doing this or who doing what? I don't care. That's more than a fan need to be thinking about. They got people. That's their job to focus on shit like that. I'm focused on watching the fight. That's my job. Watch the fight and spend my money and support it. I got no further job than that. We can come out here and talk about our opinions with certain stuff, but I would never come out here and say this one doing this or this one doing that, because it ain't no way I fucking know. Only thing I would say is if you got dude on your team, you might be on some bullshit. I mean, how can you not think that? If once you know about who this guy is, for a long time, I was in the dark because that shit wasn't important to me. And once again, I just so happened to was bored one day and watched the shit on Netflix, and damn. I remember when Shane and Lamar Peterson and I think Bird, man, a lot of good fighters at one time, and brothers too. That's what shocked me. It was a lot of good fighters some years ago. That was in that Balco shit. I think that's what it was. All got popped dirty, and I was like, Sugar Shane cheating. Certain people, you'd have never thought them motherfuckers was cheating. They was hot though, and most of them was fucking with dudes. So if Shane Mosley and Lamont Peterson was on some shit, hell, what the fuck make you think? And them some pretty seem like straight level headed real guys. And if they was on something, or if he was giving up something they weren't supposed to have, whatever. I mean, when they all got caught some years ago, what makes you think Devin and Bud and all them any different? You think they got that motherfucker over there for nothing? You think they willing to take this kind of scrutiny for nothing? And I'm not saying they doing shit, but the fact that this come with this guy, he got to be pretty damn important to put yourself through this shit right here to have him on your team. What the hell is he doing that's so much more important than what Bo Mack and all of them been doing your whole damn life? That's hard for me to. So you can't divorce him from that because you like him. But you also can't sit up here and say he's doing some shit and you don't know. That's why for me, I don't care. That's that solves that in a nutshell. It's other people's business to figure all that out. But if you dealing with dude, if, this type of shit is to be expected. Let's put it to you like that. So if you don't want this kind of stuff going on around you, don't bring a motherfucker like that in your camp. That's what I would say to it. I just want to see the fight. I don't care what nobody doing. I hope they ain't. But I do know what dude is about, and I know what I heard him say. If that man can beat the test, that make him pretty damn valuable out here. If he can give you some shit to make you better at what you do, and you ain't gonna get caught doing it. Shit. Hell yeah, you can take as long as I ain't gonna get caught. Fuck it. What difference do it make? You know, uh, everybody ain't, you trying to assume because you like a motherfucker, they got integrity and ethics. It's big money involved in this shit. Motherfuckers will do some shady shit when big money on the line. Real talk. I look at, you know, shady motherfuckers. They show you little shady shit from time to time, just in how they move. And once again, man, I would not put my damn neck out and say what nobody is, especially dealing with that guy. I mean, what you got him over there for? That's all. That's what I would say to the cows come home. If you are what you are, why would you need a motherfucker like that? And you ain't gonna get no good answer for it. I'm sure of that. You can't tell me whatever he is, whatever he do, whatever type of equipment he got or whatever. It ain't another motherfucker that got some too. You ain't gonna be able to convince me of that. It's somebody that got similar shit that ain't got no sketchy background. I'm sure of that. Why you want this motherfucker? Why bring all this shit around your team if you don't need it? Terrence Crawford getting ready to retire soon, so if he could just get through this fight, he don't give a fuck. Once dudes is getting $50 million and stuff like that, you think they really give a shit about how some fans feel after the fight is over? What they gonna be in the world? They ain't never gotta see none of you motherfuckers if they don't want to. So I'm not saying I'm not gonna sit up here and sit up here and just clear no motherfucking body name. I don't know. I would just say it must be a damn good reason to bring this type of motherfucker in your camp. Knowing what's gonna come with it. He got to be valuable at something. And the man on record saying what he said. Now, for me, I just want to see a good fight. I do. I just want to see a good fight. And if the juice gonna make this motherfucker be able to stand up and take a few more of them shots from Canelo, so fucking be it. See? And vice versa. Y'all, what if Canelo takes some juice too? If it's juicing, everybody gonna juice up. So, hey, fuck it. That's what I say. Leave this shit alone. You can just go ahead and have your. I mean, you know what? Everybody gonna have an opinion anyway, and I would say anybody dealing with Shady Grady, you got the right to feel like they don't that person doing whatever they doing. You got a right to feel that way. You ain't got no proof. And the man had already said you ain't gonna be able to prove it because he know how to beat the test. So you just have to take somebody at their word. Do you think Bud is honest and ethical? Then and got integrity. If you believe that, then you think he ain't doing shit. If you think like most people that people will do anything when this type of money on the line, oh well, it could be. I mean, I say it to the cows come on. Why bring this type of shit around your team if you don't need to? Why have you been doing good without them? Why bring this shit in there? Why bring this type of negative press? Well, if I'm finna retire in a minute anyway, what difference do it make? That might be how one person feel. You know, if I ain't gonna get caught doing it, what difference do it make? That might be how another person feel. You know, it is what it is. You know, and I just don't think it's doing the sport any good for everybody to be running around here worrying about who doing this and who doing that. It's pointless. It's pointless. Do y'all want to see good fights or not? Let the people who job it is to handle that shit, handle it. Let us be fans. If you want to be a content creator and talk your little shit, that's cool, but don't talk so much that you fuck the fight up. How about that? And let the chips fall where they may. These grown men at the end of the day, they're in a warrior sport. They will figure it the fuck out. But that's it for me on this video. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe. Till the next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.